The mind is the first battlefield. Before blades clash, before armies march, before a single word is spoken, weak men lose here. They collapse under doubt, they break under fear. They cling to emotion as if it saves them. But emotion is the leash, silence is the chain, and darkness is the only shield. Every interaction is war. Every conversation is a duel. Some fight with volume, others fight with smiles. But the ones who truly dominate fight with nothing at all. Their silence cuts deeper. Their calmness suffocates louder. Their absence burns stronger than presence. Dark psychology is not about being liked. It is about being untouchable. It is about learning the laws that govern human weakness, the laws they never teach you, the ones predators already use. When you understand these tactics, you stop being prey. You stop chasing validation. You stop playing their game. Instead, you become the ghost in the room, the architect of silence, the figure they cannot read and cannot defeat. Remember this truth: power does not scream. Power does not explain. Power waits, watches, and strikes without warning. This is the path, the framework, the mind built for war. A warrior who cannot hold silence is already defeated. The weak rush to fill the void with nervous words, with explanations, with excuses, each syllable leaking fear. The average man collapses in the quiet, mistaking emptiness for weakness. But the dark mind understands. Silence is not absence, it is pressure. A silence properly held becomes a blade pressed against the throat of the opponent. What terrifies the herd is what empowers the predator. The question is not what you say, but how long you can say nothing. Every human brain seeks relief from uncertainty. The pause between words forces the mind to predict, to fill in the blanks, to panic at its own projections. This is the law of silence. The one who controls the gap controls the battlefield. Most people betray themselves. They smile, they stutter, they rush to break the tension. That is why they are predictable. But when you lock your face behind the mask of iron silence, the rules shift. You no longer answer to their rhythm, they answer to yours. When confronted, pause. Keep your eyes steady. Breathe once, deeply, but do not break your stillness. Let the silence grow until the other person feels it, crawling over their skin. When they move, delay your response further. Do not nod. Do not rush. Speak only when you decide, not when they beg for it. Silence will bend their confidence, make them question themselves, and force them to reveal truths you never asked for. With the mask of iron silence, you are no longer reactive. You are untouchable. Opponents talk themselves into weakness, while you remain the immovable figure they cannot decipher. Your silence becomes their mirror, and in it they see their own insecurities reflected back. The transformation is simple. You stop being a participant and become the silent architect of fear. Remember, sometimes the loudest strike is the one never spoken. The strongest prison is not made of walls or chains. It is made of emotions. The average mind bends under anger, spills secrets under pressure, and collapses when fear is triggered. Their emotions are levers. Anyone skilled enough can pull them. But the dark mind knows this. Emotion is bait. To engage with it is to be hooked. To evade it is to stay untouchable. Strategic emotion evasion is the art, slipping past traps without leaving a trace. Here lies the hidden law. Emotion is predictable. Anger seeks reaction. Guilt seeks confession. Fear seeks submission. The enemy relies on this clockwork, assuming you will perform exactly as designed. That is why most people fail. They answer rage with rage, guilt with apology, fear with surrender. Strategic emotion evasion rewires the pattern. Instead of reacting, you become unresponsive, fluid, untouchable. Their attempts collapse into silence. The weapon they trust turns useless. Emotional triggers fail in your presence. When anger strikes, do not rise. Let your eyes remain cold, your jaw still. When guilt is thrown, acknowledge nothing. Let silence swallow the accusation. When fear presses in, breathe slow, slower than them. Say little, move less. Project no reaction. Their signals die unanswered. Their control short circuits. You become unreadable, unreachable. And in that void, their frustration grows into weakness. You become a mirror, reflecting nothing. Their attempts to bend you return empty. You are immune to manipulation because you refuse to feed it. Every failed attempt deepens their doubt until they see you not as prey, but as a wall they cannot climb. Emotion once used against you now becomes their undoing. Remember this truth: the one who does not react cannot be controlled. Power invites attack. Authority invites challenge. The more you claim the throne, the more others scheme to take it from you. Most people cling to titles, positions, or recognition, unaware that visibility makes them a target. But the empty throne principle bends this law. Instead of sitting visibly in power, you step back unseen, letting others fight for what you no longer display. You look absent, but in reality, you control everything from the shadows without becoming the mark. Psychology reveals this paradox. The less you chase recognition, the more influence you secretly hold. The throne left empty creates tension. Who controls it? Who owns it? Who fills it? That vacuum directs others' behavior without you lifting a hand. People rush to claim it, compete to define it, and in the chaos, you remain untouchable. They think you abandoned control, but in truth, you've removed yourself from danger. By staying unseen, you bend the battlefield while others expose themselves. Withdraw strategically. Step away from visible control. Do not argue for dominance. Do not broadcast your strength. Let others assume power while you remain silent. Study, influence subtly, plant ideas, and watch as they act out your hidden direction. They are busy defending crowns, titles, or positions, while you remain invisible, immune, and irreplaceable. What cannot be seen cannot be attacked. What is absent cannot be destroyed. You become the ghost of authority, a presence without presence. Others exhaust themselves chasing symbols, while your quiet withdrawal makes you untouchable. The empty throne does not weaken you. It makes you impossible to strike. Power flows through absence, and the battlefield bends to the one who needs no throne at all. People chase the light. They want attention, validation, applause. But the light blinds and exposes. When you are too visible, you become predictable. Easy to read, easy to strike. The pull of shadows is the opposite law. Step into obscurity, and suddenly you gain dimension. You are harder to track, harder to decode. Shadows are not absence, they are distortion. In the dark, your intentions blur, your edges disappear, and others project their fears onto the space you occupy. Psychology calls it the fear of ambiguity. Humans cannot tolerate unclear signals. Their minds race to fill gaps with stories, often darker than reality. By refusing to explain yourself, by moving unpredictably, you weaponize uncertainty. Silence becomes noise. Absence becomes a message. When others cannot pin down your motives, they retreat into hesitation. They second guess themselves, mistrust their own judgment, and surrender initiative. In the pull of shadows, you never strike first. You simply let their confusion weaken them before you move. Withdraw from clarity. Speak less than expected. Offer fragments, not full truths. Appear then vanish. Change rhythm. Be fast then painfully slow. Create gaps others cannot close. Do not fight directly. Allow doubt to do the work. They will wonder where you stand, what you want, and when you'll move. While you already know exactly where they'll break, you become an enigma, a ghost in the mind of every opponent. Their fear does not come from what you do, but from what they cannot see. The pull of shadows makes you more than untouchable. It makes you unforgettable. They remember the silence, the absence, the mystery, and the shadow always outlives the light. In the end, only silence remains, not the silence of weakness, but the silence of power. The silence that unsettles hearts, the silence that bends reality. They will search for your reaction. They will claw for your emotion. They will beg for your attention, yet you will give them nothing. And nothing is the deadliest weapon. Power is not fire. Power is not rage. Power is not noise. It is control. It is emptiness. It is the art of disappearing while still being present. When you detach, you stop being controlled. When you stop reacting, you stop bleeding energy. When you break emotional addiction, you are no longer chained. You are no longer prey. The predators will circle you. They will test. They will provoke. They will try to find your weakness. But your silence becomes their cage. Your stillness becomes their mirror. And in that mirror, they face themselves. Remember this law: the strongest presence is built on absence. The sharpest blade is hidden in restraint. The most feared mind is the one that feels nothing. Do not seek peace. Do not seek chaos. Seek power in silence, and let the world bend furs.